Jumping over to Microsoft.
This is my thing.
This is your thing. This is one of the few things you gave us this week.
Yeah, I didn't give a lot this week.
The Xbox Developer Direct. Justin and I did watch it live because I went ahead and I was at work, so I just put it on. What?
Separately.
When was it?
Separately.
This was on Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before the Direct, we had Doom, South of Midnight, and Expedition 33 were all previously announced. We just got some more gameplay, a little bit of dev insight into them, and release dates. That was the biggest thing, was everything has a release date except for Ninja Gaiden 4, because that was the announcement from the Direct.
Yes. That being said, before we get too into it, I am going to go ahead and just say, to me, the Direct was pretty mid.
To you.
Doom they did a lot of good with Doom, and Ninja Gaiden, I've never super cared about it. It looks kind of cool. To me, the biggest thing was actually
Expedition.
Expedition.
Dude, Expedition was a surprise to me. I didn't think I was gonna like it.
I didn't either.
I obviously came for Doom. Obviously Doom was my number one. But Expedition, I was not expecting to like it, and I really did. I'm really excited to play Expedition.
So let's go down. So Doom: The Dark Ages is launching May 15th, 2025. It's coming out on Xbox Series X and S, the Xbox app for Windows PC, Steam, PS5, and play it day one with Game Pass. So it's not coming out on Xbox One anymore?
No.
Okay. I mean, that's good in my opinion, because then we can start building more next-gen games. Or, I guess, current-gen. It seems next-gen since we haven't built a current-gen game yet. Or at least not really. The team at ID Software shared deeper looks at it. We're not going to have audio, but that's fine. We'll just put it on, let it play.
This is a sizzle reel. Yeah, that's fine.
So, Jub, what are you excited about Doom? Because to me, I've never been too into it.
So, 2016 was like the spiritual reboot of the franchise, which classic Doom. What was the genre you called them last week, George? You called it something specific. I don't remember. No, it was my friend. He called it a boomer shooter because
yes.
Because of when they were made. So 2016 was the relaunch of the series. So that was like a very faithful adaptation of what the gameplay was if it was made today. Eternal, the sequel to Doom 2016 in 2020, was more balls to the walls combat and a lot more aerial focused. Doom: The Dark Ages is more stand your ground and fight tank combat, because it's a slower combat than probably 2016 as well, but definitely slower than Eternal, because you're more focused on like parrying and meleeing, but gunplay is still obviously a big thing. I'm very excited. Like, I was already gonna buy the game. I might buy it. I might get a collector's edition because they showed off the collector's edition, and there's a statue of the Doomslayer with like the shield and everything, and I was like, oh. I might buy it, even though I'm a Game Pass subscriber. I might buy the game.
Okay.
Fair.
Their next one that they put in their article is South of Midnight. Jub, do you want to do the explanation of this one?
It seems like an action adventure game that's pretty story driven. It takes a lot of inspiration from the Southern folklore. And you play as what they call a weaver. Is that what they called it?
It was a weaver.
And you use like supernatural thread powers to fight monsters. And what I like is that like the art style is like super unique. It's kind of hard to see on the stream. You can see it. that frame rate thing, it's still a little hard to see because of the stream. It's the video in a stream. It's weird. It's super stylized, as you can see. But I feel like it's too stylized, too over designed. This is just a nitpick from me, where I personally feel like they watched Spider-Verse and saw, oh, we can do really neat things if we play with frame rate, and then they just make everything run at like 10 frames per second.
Yeah, because straightforward, when I was watching this live, because I didn't know anything about this, and I was just like, is my internet just, buffering and such? Or, and then you made the comment that you hate the look of the frame rate, and everybody in chat was just like, this game looks like garbage because it looks like it's stuttering on its own.
That's a stylistic choice.
I that's when you told me that, and I was like, oh.
I think it's because they're trying to go for a claymation look.
Claymation is top start. I think is what
I just don't think it adapts into a game well.
Well, and I think the problem with that is like claymation. I think if I remember right, claymation is closer to like 12 or 10 frames a second. This looks like it's sitting more at like 20.
Yeah,
but there are scenes that feel like it's being rendered at like 30.
Yeah,
because there's so many scenes that feel really smooth, and all of a sudden you get certain scenes that are more focused in, and they drop the frame rate to make it more, stylized. And I'm like, I don't know. Even the descriptions when they were talking about it, this game looked boring to me. I was bored watching it.
It's not my style of gameplay.
I think it can be a contender for art direction and score. The music's pretty good.
The music is good.
I think it could be a contender for. I think this is more of an art piece than like a AAA Grand Slam game.
It just surprised me that at the direct where they were going to talk about Doom and such, that this was one of the options they chose to go with because they knew the audience they were pulling with Doom.
You got to have something for everybody.
I get that, but
you have to have something for everybody.
I don't know how many people were excited about it. At least in the chats, there were a couple. I will say that there were not many people excited about it. Most people were bored of it by the time they got done talking about it, because they also talked about it for quite a long time.
Yeah, this one got a lot of time.
This one got a lot of time.
That's much Doom, but
it looks interesting. But again, not my play style.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is that like it looks decent. It looks like it's going to be an okay game. Like a 7 out of 10.
And like to me, like the like Mythic Cajun idea of like telling a story of dealing with that, to me that sounds interesting. Like going into the folklore and such. I see this one. I'm probably at like, if you're at a 5 out of 10, I'm probably at like a 3 or 2. Like if I have nothing else going on, I could see trying it. But if I had to pay anything for it, it would be an automatic pass.
Yeah, I think it's a $50 game too.
Yeah, and that, to me, that makes no sense. Like, I get that it's expensive to make games, but I don't see that.
Yeah.
Then we have Expedition 33.
And you said this was you guys were excited for?
Yes.
This is like take kind of a Final Fantasy kind of game and bring it to a modern day view of it. And so what's going on, I forget what her name is, but a mythical creature has the painter.
Yeah.
So she has she now sends down every year a letter of a number, okay? And I think they said it started at like 60.
It started at 60, yeah, and then every year it goes down by 1.
And what that number is everybody that's over that age instantly dies. So we are on the 33rd expedition, because currently the number is 34, to go and try to defeat her and stop her. That way, when the number changes, we don't, die.
And what they talked about a lot in the direct was that it's not a standard good versus evil like RPG story. It's more so the story is more so focused on these characters and their journey to the painter in that fight, and how these characters are like super flawed and like not great.
Yeah.
Which
and
that
their
excites me
individual
as well.
development and such.
Yeah.
No, this one looked good. I love the idea of going back to like a turn-based combat style with it.
Yeah, if we're gonna talk about, okay, so here there's so much happening on the screen in a good way, in a way that like captures my attention. It's like Jamie. It's like when you're doing combat, it's turn-based, but then you have to like execute quick time events to do like bonus damage or to like dodge perfectly. It's really cool.
I like that.
And, yeah. And it is so pretty too.
Yeah.
That's one of my issues with Baldur's Gate. One of the few issues I have with the game is when other people are taking their turn. And I do this sometimes because I have no clue what I'm doing with some characters. And it takes a little bit of time. It's like, okay, what else am I going to do? Well, we just sit here and it's like, I just want to play the game.
And I will agree that is a problem with Baldur's Gate. The Baldur's Gate is still so good. But I think that's what this is going to be. This is going to be, I think this is going to be a single player game, but this is going to give like a lot of that Baldur's Gate feels.
Dumb question for you guys. Is it an open world type of game?
No.
Ooh.
Okay.
Whoa!
Why'd you switch that?
Spoilers!
Spoilers.
No. But it will have like a world map like most turn-based games like this do.
Okay.
What are you bringing up, George? Or what are you looking up?
I'm trying to check real fast. Well, if it was a single player or not, I think it is.
I have a little story about the game before we move on, though. So, this is a brand new studio. This is their first game. It looks like this. What the hell are they doing to pull off that? I think the studio is like 8 people, right?
Oh,
from the video, George.
I think so. I think at most
maybe less than that.
12.
It's crazy. And like, so the founder of the studio was talking to his friend about the story, and his friend quit his job that day to go work at the studio with him. Because awesome. that's how well he sold the story to him. I'm so excited for this.
I think it is a single player game, but it is going to be available day one on Game Pass, April 24th. I will be downloading it on as soon as they open it up for download, because normally that's before the release.
You can pre-install now.
Can you?
It's not the full game, but it's like enough that like when the game releases, it'll update it immediately.
Yeah,
you can pre-install all the games on this list from the direct. And then this was the big surprise. It is not exclusive. Ninja Gaiden 4. I don't know enough now about Ninja Gaiden to vamp here.
Nope, I never got into the series, but
I might now.
Also, Ninja Gaiden 2.
Yeah, so
which I was surprised by.
First, they showed off all this, and they were talking about Ninja Gaiden 4 and starting it, and like all the special things. I guess this is supposed to be like a newcomer-friendly game because it's been like 10 plus years since the last one released.
It's been so long. Like,
yeah.
For reference, Ninja Gaiden started on the Xbox.
Yes. But like, dude, I saw this. Hold on, are they gonna show I saw this shot and I was sold on the game immediately because like it's so stylized in a specific way.
This trailer got me curious enough that I probably am gonna try it.
I'm gonna try it. Yeah, I need to install 2. Which, at the end of their section, they announced that Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, or is it Black 2? I don't remember. I think it's 2 Black.
I think it's 2 Black.
They remade Ninja Gaiden 2 and shadow dropped it. Did not leak either. Did not leak.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that was all straight right then during it, which was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, no, this gameplay look of it and this look of the world actually got me curious about it.
Yeah.
Back when Ninja Gaidens were big, I was very much in the shooters, so this did not fit my playstyle.
Yeah.
The only game
But
I
like
played like this
these
was
shots
Devil
right
May Cry.
here, I was sold here. It just looks pretty, and it's a fast ninja game.
Yes.
To go fast, yes.
Well, that's one thing also, if I remember right, I think the first one was a lot more ninja-based, so it was a lot more stealth-based, which was definitely not my playstyle. Where this one does not look like. This one looks like hack and slash. Like, I'm going to go out there, and I know I'm, big, tough, and scary. I'm just going to go beat you straight to your face.
Yeah. The boss fights look crazy, too.
The boss fights look pretty intense, which I'm all for.
Yeah. So, yeah. Overall, I'd give this Developer Direct an 8. Take your bias out of it.
I think honestly I'd be at like a 5.
Really?
Doom was the big announcement. This was pretty cool, but to me, I think overall the announcements, I don't know if it justified a full hour for the 4 of them.
Well, these games were already announced. Everything except for Ninja Gaiden was already announced.
Well, no. But that's what I'm saying is I don't know if, again, we had an hour, so that means we dedicated, it wasn't exactly, but a quarter of an hour to each of these for a developer direct on it. I don't know if it needed that long for each of them.
Well, this isn't like a showcase where they're just showing off trailer and then a gameplay. This is more insight into the game.
And I get this, but like when we talk about, South of Midnight, and we spent like 20 minutes focusing on talking about that, and there wasn't many people that seemed to care about it, in my opinion. And we talked about Expedition 33, which was cool, but then we started, again, just trying to find things to fill in time to talk about.
Yeah.
I think Doom and Ninja Gaiden, I think they spent enough time talking about what they needed to, because there was so much to discuss of those 2 items. But I really think that they went ahead and they wanted to make sure they did an hour. And so they just, you guys need to discuss more and fill in time. That's what's taken away from me, because legitimately, after Gaiden, going into South of Midnight, which just killed momentum between the stream, that felt like it went on forever. Expedition 33 then picked up and was doing pretty good, and then started to feel like it was dragging on a little bit. And then Doom was just fast, which Doom was what 90% of the people that were there to watch.
Yeah.
So, I think like a 5.
Okay.
It could have been better. It could have been paced better. I don't think they needed an hour.
I just think it's crazy that all these games are releasing in quarter 2. Everything except for Ninja Gaiden 4 are releasing in quarter 2.
Yeah.
I think that's big. Which means that we can have a June showcase with games that are releasing this year still. Because like if you compare it to last year's Developer Direct, everything was quarter 3 and 4, and then Avowed for this year.
Yeah, but at the same time, for Microsoft owning as many studios as they do now, comparing in days past, it's kind of sad of how little that they had to talk about.
No, I think they're queuing up a huge back end. We could, because we haven't heard anything from who does Gears now? Playground?
Oh.
We haven't heard anything about Gears Judgment Day. We know that's being made. We know it exists. Halo is still getting content drops for Infinite, but I believe they're working on 6. Or a remaster of some sort.
So back when that announcement came of the new creative lead and all that.
Yeah.
They're retooling all of Halo.
Yeah.
And according to the new creative director, they were working on 3 games, I think it was, all at the same time, with no timeline in sight of when they were expecting to even start dropping them.
Yeah.
So I'm not expecting how much of a shakeup they did.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to see a Halo game till at least
next year.
I think we'll maybe get a starting of a teaser trailer for it next year.
Wow. Okay.
Because they said they were they said I'm trying to find the best way to word this. I remember the article because I remember you and I discussed the article.
Mm-hmm.
The new creative director wasn't exactly thrilled with the fan bases Halo had, so they were working on trying to figure out how to change that. Also,
yeah,
that's how I can word that safely without being political.
We also, I know Playground. We have Fable. I think Fable comes out this year. We could get Showcase. Maybe Fable could come out this year. Fable could come out this year.
No,
do I think so? No.
We may get later a new teaser update, but it's been over.
I think we see gameplay this year, though. I think we see gameplay this year.
Maybe like a minute at most.
Forza, we're due for a Forza. There's a lot of their studios that are cooking right now. So let Microsoft cook right now. That's all I'm saying.
I'm in the side over here. We all knew that Nintendo was coming soon.
Yeah.
We've known that for the last 5 years because it's been too long.
Which was coming soon?
Nintendo
Switch 2.
Switch 2.
Yeah.
We knew this was around the corner. I'm just surprised that right after we get the announcement that they're going to do their direct in April, which means we know it's dropping this year before November, that it seems like there's not a lot Microsoft's ready to have. And I would be stacking as much as I can right now and prepping everybody for the second half of the year, because I see it happening the same way when the Switch happened, that sales on Xbox and PlayStation are going to drop for the rest of the year once that drop happens.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to be switching to the Switch 2, which looks fantastic.
Yeah. And also, GTA comes out this year, supposedly.
I mean, GTA has... It's coming.
It's coming.
Maybe. I'm not going to pull this up on the stream, but I was sent a TikTok. I doubt, as I put it in my comment, I'm curious to see how much of this is actually true. Supposedly, according to TikTok, who knows how much of Nintendo this actually Nintendo knows. There was a reveal and that got leaked. I'm trying to wait for it to get to that spot. Again, they're talking about how supposedly, according to this, the Switch 2 is expected in the month of May or June, right in line with what we were talking about. That made sense.
I don't think May makes sense, but yeah.
May doesn't make sense. June or July is where I'm at. But
yeah,
again,
same.
it lines up with us. The specs, supposedly it's a 4K screen. I doubt that. It is supposedly an OLED. That would make sense. We already have an OLED screen. We're just going to blow it up. Improved Joy-Cons. That's a given. Potentially, it could be based on, again, everything I'm talking about right now, make sure you have like 3 buckets of salt nearby because you're going to need that much to be truthful. Could be as powerful as the PS4 Pro. We were things I had already seen was saying PS4 or Xbox One. If it's the Pro, there's not much difference between the Pro and the PS4, so that is possible. So the predicted price point. Any guesses?
500 if they're including a 4K.
350.
Jamie? The predicted price point is 400, which is, again, right where all the rumors we had heard were saying.
Yeah.
So that, again, makes... I'm okay with that. I would drop 400 on it.
Yeah, I would.
Launch title, supposedly, again, bucket of salt, Mario Kart 9. Again, we saw it in the
saw Mario Kart 9. You know, that's confirmed.
Well, we don't know it's confirmed as launch. Could be confirmed launch window, not necessarily launch.
Yeah.
Supposedly Red Dead Redemption 2 launch. Yeah, see that's where I'm like, I don't know about that. I'm curious how much of this Nintendo knows about. And supposedly, and this goes back to kind of where my wishing and prediction was, Mario Odyssey 2 at launch.
I sure hope so, man. I sure hope so.
How much of that is actually truthful?
Who knows?
I don't know. how much of that does Nintendo know? I mean, that's probably even less. But if we could get even part of that, that's gonna hurt to Microsoft and Sony.
I mean, what does Sony have queued up right now for this year?
They, as far as I know, they don't. I haven't seen it.
Ghost of Yotei, which is a double A game in my opinion.
Yeah, I wouldn't go triple.
And then Death Stranding 2, which if you like Hideo Kojima, you're really excited. If you don't like Hideo Kojima, you do not care.
Yeah. Why do you keep turning off? Let's see. Let's just real quick. PlayStation 5 releases. I mean, we just got the PlayStation 5 Pro, so obviously there must be something new coming up, right?
Yeah, Ghost of Yotei.
Besides that,
Ghost of Yotei, George.
Justin, we're talking about something people care about here.
Ghost of Yotei.
Actually, people do care about Ghost of Yotei.
I'm joking.
PlayStation, why don't you give me actually just like not recent releases, but coming up? Sonic X Shadow Generation.
That's already out.
I know. I'm
hell yeah.
Game Rant. Okay. Let's boom. Game Rant. What does Game Rant say? Coming out in January. Sniper Elite, Dynasty Warrior, and more.
It's all not first party or exclusive.
Right.
These are just like releases.
Well, I'm trying. Okay, there is no good article I can pull up in this second.
Yeah, again, it's just Ghost of Yotei and Death Stranding 2.
Monster Hunter, that's coming out on everybody this time around. 2 Point Museum, Tales of the Schreier.
Yeah.
There's Ghost of Yotei. Wolverine.
That's not coming out this year.
There's no date. Never mind. Ignore that.
And then Snake Eater isn't gonna. It's not even Snake Eater. What the hell? Metal Gear is not first party or exclusive either. So, like, what is Sony doing? Rumored we're getting a state of play in February.
I'm sorry, what?
Their showcase.
Yeah, Sony showcase in February.
That makes sense. They've been doing them in February. That checks out.
They've been doing 3 a year lately.
Because I think everything that used to be for E3 now has just been shifted to February.
Yeah.
So that's when we'll actually find out what they're doing. But again, I think both companies need to really be having some big surprises or something dropping early this year. I think in the later year, besides GTA, if that somehow drops this year, which I don't think it's going to.
It's not going to.
It's not going to. Besides that, I think anything competing against Nintendo in the second half of this year is going to really struggle.
Yeah.